The vocabulary that you use with your mental health is really important. And there are three main issues that make it even more important. So what I'm going to talk to you about next is the difference between good stress and bad stress, the difference between feeling sad or depressed and having depression, and the difference between feeling nervous and having an anxiety disorder. When it comes to stress and talking about stress, just that word stress triggers a lot of different feelings in people. And most people, when they hear the word stress, immediately think of like bad stress, I'm overwhelmed, I'm shutting down, I can't handle this. But there are two types of stress. Good stress motivates you. It activates your fight or flight mechanism for a really short time and helps you get things done. You might have good stress before you're about to play a sport, when you're getting ready to go see your friends, if you're packing to take a vacation. Good stress exists in our lives to help us do things. Bad stress is debilitating. It's headaches and body aches and insomnia. It's feeling overwhelmed and shut down and not being able to do the things that you enjoy. So when you hear the word stress, if you immediately think of bad stress and you start panicking and thinking like, I don't want this, it is helpful for you to start understanding how to use good stress. And you can use good stress by taking power in situations. So instead of saying things like, oh my gosh, I have so much homework and I have so many different activities I need to do and I'm not going to be able to get it done, think about what you can take control of. Can you lessen your extracurricular activities? Can you set up a plan to actually complete your homework? Another thing you can do to use good stress is to reframe situations. A lot of people approach a test by saying things like, this test is going to be so hard, my goal is to not fail. But even just reframing it and saying this test is going to be so hard, I'm going to study as hard as I can. Or this test is going to be so hard, I'm going to do my best, can change bad stress into good stress. The next issue is the difference between feeling sad or depressed and actually having a diagnosis of clinical depression. Everybody can feel sad or depressed or upset when something happens to you. You could go through some type of rejection, you could go through some kind of pain or some kind of emotional situation in your life that could lead you to feel sad or depressed or upset. The opposite of feeling sad or depressed is happiness. When you have clinical depression, the big difference is you don't often have an identifiable cause. You stop doing the things you enjoy. You stop taking care of yourself. You may stop bathing. You may stop eating. You may have persistent thoughts of death or suicide, and you don't know why. So the opposite of feeling sad or depressed is happiness. The opposite of actually having clinical depression is vitality. It's having energy to get out of bed. It's having energy to do the things that you typically do. And then the last issue we're going to talk about is the difference between feeling nervous and having an anxiety disorder. Nervousness is something that everyone feels. It's the butterflies you get in your stomach before you're about to play a game or take a test, or the butterflies you feel when you really like someone, but you don't know how to talk to them about it.
You know, I think you have a little crush on me.
Ew, no.
Yeah, I think you do.
Everybody has nervousness. It lasts a short amount of time and it typically goes away. When you're nervous, the opposite of being nervous is being calm. When you have an anxiety disorder, it is not nervousness that lasts a short amount of time. An anxiety disorder is nervousness that continues to build and grow. So some symptoms around an anxiety disorder are feeling like the walls are caving in, like you're having a heart attack, like you're physically going to die. And again, there could be triggers for an anxiety disorder, there may not be. So when you look at somebody who's nervous, you can say, hey, just calm down.
Ron, are you okay?
The man put it back, sir.
Calm down. Breathe, Ron. Breathe.
But when someone is having an anxiety disorder or panic attack or something like that, the opposite of that is being able to see reality. And the reason all of this vocabulary is important is because when someone is feeling sad and they tell someone who has depression to get happy, it's dismissing their experience. When someone who is nervous needs to feel calm, but they tell someone with an anxiety disorder to just calm down, it's dismissing the severity of what they're actually going through. So try to keep all this in mind as you go throughout your life and as you learn about other people and yourself, because it's critical to how you talk about mental health and understand others. Pancakes are my favorite.